Many of the videos on this channel have been because you have asked me to discuss a particular topic. Today's video is just one example, based on an earlier video, 10 reasons to choose general practice, which you can view by clicking this card. I had a few questions about remote working. I do have 2 videos about the advantages and disadvantages of remote working, which you can check out in this playlist. This video will be discussing remote working in more detail, such as the ways in which you can work remotely and what is actually involved with the various job roles. I'll also be discussing things like the equipment that you need and who provides it for you. Hi everyone and welcome back. If you're new, then a massive welcome to you. My name is Dr. Baptiste and I currently work as a portfolio GP. On this channel, you will find lots of support for you on your medical career journey. If you're a regular viewer, then thank you so much for staying subscribed, watching my videos and telling me what you'd like to see. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to continue to see this type of content. So let's start. When I started working remotely, if you have followed me, you'll know that just over a year ago, I resigned from my job at a practice to work remotely. This was never my intention when I started working. As soon as I completed my training, I had about a 1-month break and then I started working as a salaried GP in a local practice. I was actually offered the job before I even completed my training and passed my final exam. If you want to know more about why I left, then you can check out this earlier video. Once I left, I started working completely remotely and my job involved reviewing econsults and primarily sending emails, SMS messages and calling patients in response to the queries that came through via the econsults. There were no clinics, only a set number of patients to see per session. Then I made a switch back to speaking to patients primarily via phone versus email through set clinics or sessions. And this is what I am doing now, in addition to seeing some patients face to face, which is less often. All my remote work has been in the NHS, and I do prefer this in comparison to the private sector, although many GPs do a combination of private and NHS work, and I might do a combination myself in the near future. Now I'm going to talk about the ways you can work both within and outside the NHS. I'll also discuss things like how long the clinics or appointment times are, the telemedicine method that you can use, the equipment you need and who provides it, and any associated costs. And I know you'll want to know the pay too, so we'll discuss that briefly. I'll also mention a few pros and cons to each way of working. The ways in which you can work, including pros and cons. You can work for both the NHS and private sector, and I will start with how you can work remotely in the private sector. You may have heard of companies like Babylon, Livy and Dr. Care Anywhere, and these are private companies that offer remote opportunities. As a GP working for these companies, you can see both NHS and private patients. Let's talk briefly about the company Babylon. So Babylon is a digital healthcare company. They launched their virtual services during 2013 in the UK, where patients were seen privately, paying for virtual appointments via their phone, computer or tablet. Patients can download the app, which helps them check their symptoms via something called the symptom checker. They can see a GP, pharmacist, physiotherapist through a video consultation. Patients have 24/7 access to GPs. Patients can also check their existing state of health via a system called a health check and monitor their health, which enables patients to track their mood, sync their health data from their phone, wearables and apps, and also understand the impacts of their habits on their health. They are now operating internationally in 15 countries and also offer GP at hand, which is a combination of physical GP surgeries. This offers the option of patients being able to see a GP face-to-face at one of their clinics if they need to be seen face-to-face. When they launched their NHS practice, they became the first GP practice with a list size of 100,000 patients. The demographic is mostly younger patients between the ages of 20 to 39. So as a GP working for Babylon Health, you can work within and out of hours. Here are a few pros and cons. So you have to work a minimum of 10 hours a week. You can do this in 2-hour blocks throughout the week, for example. Like with working in a traditional surgery, one session or clinic is 4 hours long. You can also work extra shifts if you choose. Now, you see a maximum of 5 patients per hour, so appointments are 10 minutes, like working face-to-face or remotely at an NHS GP surgery. There is one catch-up slot per hour, so no appointment within this time. Now, the pay ranges between $9,981 to $11,557 per session, depending on when you work. So you will earn more if you work evenings, particularly Monday and Friday evenings, in addition to weekends. You can work remotely at home or in the clinic, but you are only able to work remotely from England. GPs see a mixture of NHS and private patients via video and telephone appointments. Like with most companies, they offer benefits such as full medical indemnity, private pension, health insurance for the GP and their family, a free subscription to Babylon, annual and sick leave, maternity and paternity pay. The pay ranges are similar across digital healthcare companies, and you can be provided with the equipment needed to perform your role, such as a laptop and smart card reader. You are usually given training, and there are support systems such as a lead GP you can ask for advice. Other companies such as Bupa also offer remote opportunities. So let's talk about the NHS. Working remotely within the NHS takes a few forms. So you can work remotely in a GP surgery via telephone and video consultations. You can bring patients in to see you face to face if needed. This can be as a salaried or locum GP. You can work remotely at home attached to a GP surgery, either as a locum or salaried GP as above, again seeing patients via telephone or video consultations. However, there are fewer roles around, and if you are salaried, in most cases, you would be expected to spend some of your time within the GP practice. For example, one day at home working remotely and the remainder of your time, perhaps 2 days, physically at the practice. You can work remotely at home, completing econsults or admin tasks. You can do this as part of an ehub service where you are part of a group of clinicians at the practice, but in the ehub, so working completely remotely. The pay for this kind of work is not as good when compared to the above two options. However, you may offset this by completing the work around existing commitments. In some cases, you have a day or a week to complete the econsults. You are also usually expected to complete more econsults, so anywhere between 24 to 28 patients within 4 hours or one session. This can be difficult to do given some of the cases that you may have to see. You can also be expected to complete a minimum number of sessions, usually around 2 to 4 sessions per week. You can also work as an NHS 111 clinical advisor or functional medical assessor, which are other roles GPs can consider. Again, in most cases, the practice will provide you with the equipment that you need, and when you leave, you of course have to return the equipment. So I actually invested in a work laptop, which means that I'm not restricted to working at one practice, and if I leave a practice, I don't have to return the laptop because it's mine. So that is a short overview about the ways in which you can work remotely. There are options, but you have to weigh up the pros and cons based on your individual circumstance. It might be worth trying different roles to see what does or does not suit you. So as always, if you have any questions, then please drop me a comment in the comment section below, and like the video if you found it useful and want to see more of the same in the future. Don't forget to subscribe. I will see you in the next one.